Are you out of banter? Well, why don't you give me a question that I haven't answered 1,000 times, brother? People always be like, what's better, tortilla chips or potato chips? Is a hot dog a sandwich? Thoughts on day-old chili being better than fresh chili? There's something crazy about soup for sure. Soup always tastes better the next day. Soups, stews, the flavor just comes together. I know because I made a soup last night, and I was so excited to just put it in the fridge and let it come together overnight. But then my wife was like, let's have soup for dinner so I don't have to cook. And I was like, it's hard to make the argument. Like, no, we can't eat the fresh food that I made. We gotta let it simmer in the fridge for a day, bust out the rice cooker and the stock pot. But that's all right, because I made a whole bunch, so I still got at least like 5 or 6 bowls of the soup available here. But I'm excited to eat it for lunch today. What kind of soup? I'm going to get more -2s for this than I've got for almost any take in my entire life. I just have to restart the game because I didn't have valid credentials anymore. Speaking objectively, and my wife will tell you the same thing, I'm a pretty good soup creator, okay? The soups that I make, they have layers, they're herby, the ingredients within them taste delicious on their own and even better in the melange together. And my take on soup is if you're trying to make like a specific soup, follow a recipe. What I do when I'm making a soup sometimes, I just think of the kind of soup that I'm interested in. And last night I said, I could go for like a chicken and vegetable soup. And then I just bought chicken and vegetables, and I don't know how to describe this. I bought celery, onions, and carrots, because you always need a mirepoix to form the base of your soup. I bought some chicken. I chopped it all up, let the mirepoix simmer for a while, lots of salt, lots of pepper, threw the chicken in, lots of salt, lots of pepper, stirred it up until the chicken was all done, chunked red potatoes, put them in over top, chicken broth until it was covering all the ingredients, and then I just threw in herbs and seasonings until it tasted like I wanted it to taste. Started with a little pinch of oregano, pinch of basil, several pinches of cumin, little bit of smoked paprika, let it simmer for a bit. I said, you know what? It doesn't have enough depth. Went into the fridge, took out some Worcester sauce. Blah, 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 blah. Couldn't tell you how much I used. Looked at the broth. I said, this isn't quite brown enough. It's a little bit too on the yellow-orange spectrum. I want it to be a little bit browner. I went blah, 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 blah. Let it simmer for a little bit. And I said, you know what? This is missing something. And I realized I'd forgotten bay leaves. I put 3 bay leaves in it. Let it simmer for a little bit. That's exactly what I want. The end. So what kind of soup did I make? I don't know. It was just, it was improv. And it turned out delicious. And you know what was crazy? A, it's not hard. It's not like you have to be a genius to do it. But B, it always comes out. You might think that because you're cooking without a recipe, like 1 in 5 would be a complete disaster. They always come out 8 to 10 out of 10. It's easy. What was the part that we were going to generate -2s for? Because you guys are so organic chemistry pilled. No! You gotta... J. Kenji Lopez Alt says the mirepoix is an antiquated relic of French cuisine. It's vestigial. Oh, in the modern era, you have to... Oh, and you use chicken breasts instead of chicken thighs. Don't you know that the fat profile... Oh, you didn't put a cheesecloth wrapped... Parmesan cheese rind into the broth in order to let the nuttiness soak into the... Because you guys order DoorDash for dinner 6 nights a week. But then every single time a streamer talks about cooking, they're like, hey, you should really try this insane recipe from America's Test Kitchen, co-written by Heston Blumenthal. What'd you have for dinner last night? Oh, 4 things from the McDonald's value menu and 2 extra large root beers. Doesn't make any damn sense. YBM, J. Kenji, Alt Lopez Alt? I didn't. Obviously, they're very good at what they do, because all you motherfuckers are very familiar with their entire catalog of work. I'm BMing you specifically. Thoughts on a prairie oyster? Isn't a prairie oyster like a bull testicle? Or is that a Rocky Mountain oyster? The guy you're BMing isn't real? Okay, then why are you crying? If I'm making fun of someone who's not real, you should be like, get his ass. You're telling me that the guy I'm making fun of is not real. Meanwhile, your eyes are bright red. I think he is real. And I think he's closer than we think.